Hello and welcome to SoCal Prep Report with Eric Sondheimer of the Los Angeles Times. I'm Randy Rosenblum. We're out in the sunshine today at Dorsey High School. The Dons having a terrific year. One of the reasons is a fine running back, Charles Mincey Jr. But Charles Mincey Jr., who's this head football coach here and what do you think of him?
What I think about the head coach of Dorsey is that, he's funny. He can be hard at sometimes, but in the heart, he knows that we all love him and he loves us. So. But, that's my father, too, so, yeah. So
he better love you.
Yeah, he going to have to love me either way, but still. Sometimes we do bump heads because we almost just alike, A lot of people that act the same, they always bump heads.
You're faster than him now, finally.
Yeah, finally. He always used to beat me when I was like 5, but I caught up to him.
There we go.
Not a lot of people catch up to you. Charles, thanks a lot. Thanks for the introduction of your dad. We got some games to talk about. I can let you go to practice now. Yes. You're done. Go. You can go.
Thanks, Charles.
He doesn't want to leave. These Mincy's love the camera. First game we want to talk about is Narbonne getting by San Pedro. 41-3 in the Marine League. Jalen Chapman and the Gauchos look terrific in this game, Eric.
Yeah, 4 touchdown passes, 18 out of 31 for Chapman. He's the difference maker right now. We all knew the Narbonne was going to be great on defense, but the offense is now starting to make that kind of improvement that it's going to separate them from everybody else in the city and maybe a lot of teams in Southern California.
Yeah, Stephon Robinson caught 2 touchdowns, as did Trey Walker on his birthday. Walker had 2 touchdowns. Crenshaw is really struggling, and Hawkins put it to him 60-44.
Yeah, Hawkins is going to win the Coliseum League, which is a great accomplishment. I did not know, nor did I think that they could beat in a row Dorsey, L.A., and Crenshaw.
Right.
And that's an amazing accomplishment for them to do this at a program that didn't make the playoffs last year because of ineligibilities, but now they're back. They're ready to go. Greg Johnson's having a great season at running back.
How about Garfield over Southeast? I know they're going to play a game against Roosevelt in the big classic this week, but they really put it on Southeast. Garfield wins the game 57-21.
Yeah, the offense is good. They got some really good young running backs, plus Polanco, their quarterback, is continuing to develop. They're going to be very tough to beat in the Roosevelt game, the East LA Classic coming up.
Yeah, they've won that game 6 consecutive times. Next game we want to talk about is El Camino over Birmingham. Birmingham led 21-0. ECR ended up winning the game big.
Yeah, well, they have Liddell Atkins, who's going to be the West Valley Player of the Year. They haven't won a league title outright since 1980. They look very good at that. And they'll be somewhere in the city section seed, somewhere in the between 5 and 8 probably.
I know you're thrilled about this team because you've seen great progress from Westchester, who was only 3-8 last year, and they've really turned it around, culminated by this week's game, a 42-32 win over Palisades.
Yeah, probably the most improved team in the city. They were 3-8 last season. Coach Wyatt Henderson has relied on quarterback Jonathan Murphy. He's having a great season, over 2,000 yards passing. They came within 1 point of beating Venice and Carson.
Grant, for the first time in school history, is 9-0. They beat Chavez 39-12. 9-0, first time with 17 players healthy.
Great accomplishment. They started out with 18 last week, down to 17. I don't know how many they'll have this coming week against North Hollywood. They'll still be able to beat your Huskies, but great accomplishments for the players and the coaching staff.
Well, we just met one Charles Mincey, right? We met the younger Charles Mincey. When we come back to SoCal Prep Report, version number 2, the senior Charles Mincey. That's next on SoCal Prep Report.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy. Oh, and she even talks to it. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Back with the head coach of the Dorsey Dons, doing a terrific job here. Coach Mincey has been terrific with this club this year. Charles Mincey, a former NFL star of 9 years, a safety in the National Football League. Your team is 7-2. You're playing well. Got to be excited about the tournament and probably a little leery about Saturday when the seedings come out.
Yeah, we're a little concerned, I guess, in the sense that, I think we're ranked number 2 in the city, and we'd like to get that number 2 seed just to kind of give ourselves some home games and kind of be slated to kind of match up later on with the better teams later than sooner.
I know the person that one of the people you admire is Paul Knox, who built this program so well. I think he would be very proud of the way that this team and these players have acted this season, the way they've improved, because I think you guys have improved so much since the first game, and that's kind of the barometer of how good a team is going to be.
Well, yeah, to address that first statement, you know, Coach Knox got me to play here. I was a kid in his homeroom class, and we used to talk about the football team, so he challenged me to come out and play. And so I owe him a lot, and also gave me my first coaching assignment. So, you know, definitely you know, and I still call Coach Knox and have him consult with me concerning things, and I believe so. You know, we're trying to uphold that standard and build on that foundation. And, yeah, I really believe we've gotten better as the year has gone on. We want to continue to get better. It's a whole new season for us, so playoff-wise is kind of one and done. So we're concentrating on whoever we get in front of us. We don't know who it is yet, but, you know, we got to focus, kind of have a hyper-focus on what's in front of us.
How exciting is it for you? You know, it's your first year as the head coach here, and your son is one of your star players, Charles Mincey, of the same name, to not only coach a team that's doing well, headed for the playoffs, and have your son as a key running back and defensive back?
Well, I think it's, you know, obviously, you know, as a dad, that's a great thing, man. You always like it when your kids follow in your footsteps, you know, but it's something that, you know, I try not to focus on. I let him do his own thing and be his own man, and he's developing and has his own likes and dislikes, and, you know, I think that's kind of giving him freedom to play. My younger son, Cody, is here, but he's never played football before, and he wants to now. So I just kind of give them the freedom to do their own thing, and I think I've gotten good results with that. So I'm going to continue to let that take its course.
But next week is the Washington USC game. You know, you went to Washington. Your running back, Stephon Johnson, is a USC guy. Is there going to be some smash talking coming up?
Yeah, there's going to be some smack talking, and yeah, he's going to probably be, you know, on the bad end of that one this year. I think that Washington has a formidable team. Just on defense, they're bringing the defense back to what.
So you're guaranteeing victory to Stephon?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we're kind of have it no other way, and there'll be, you know, there'll be some type of wager, and we'll try to make sure. I'll probably go heavy on the wager, some type of conditioning type thing we'll get together, but yeah, man, you know, it's a big week for us because, you know, SC has got all those players over there, man, and we got a good team. So
I know you don't want to look too far down the road. Narbonne's the #1 team. I know you scouted them. I saw you there at the San Pedro game and that impressive win for the Gauchos, 41-3. What'd you think of the Gauchos?
they were impressive. I think that what they're doing, they have a really good system. They have really good players, really good coaching staff. So they kind of have it together, and that's a good, formidable team, you know. And so you have to take a look at that and prepare accordingly. You know, you have to get your kids ready and step up and make sure they're playing at a level that is comparable to that and exceeds it. You know, we like what they do, and, you know, we do things a little different. So, you know, it's going to be interesting. We can't look that far in advance because we don't know who's ahead of us right now. You know, just by the way the seasons look like we'll be on opposite ends. But regardless of who comes, you know, anybody can get it, and that's kind of how we're looking at it.
Well, we hope to see it. Maybe, just maybe down the road, it'll be Dorsey and Narbonne in the playoffs. Coach Charles Mincey, congratulations on a wonderful first year.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
All right, when we come back, we're going to meet two of his star players, German Gatoy, the quarterback, and Kayvon Thibodeau, a defensive end 10th grader who is super. That's next, right here on SoCal Prep Report. Dorsey Dons having a very successful season, 7-2, as they head into the playoffs. And one of the reasons is their quarterback, German Gatoy, on offense, and on defense, Kayvon Thibodeau, a brilliant 10th grade defensive end. I'm going to start with German Gatoy for a moment. German, when I think about your performance there this year, I think of you as a leader. I see you on the sideline as a holler guy. Are you that emotional every game, and what are you trying to get across to your team?
I'm very emotional every game. I just want to get across to my team how I feel for the game, and I wanted to bring to the whole team. Some of them are kind of lackadaisical, and they're just playing football just because they're big, but I just wanted to bring it to them, tell them, like, what the opportunity they got to here play at Dorsey and everything, how it goes here.
3 touchdowns against your arch rival, Crenshaw, in a 42-14 victory at the Coliseum. But what I enjoyed, not the 62-yard run, and that was a great touchdown run, was the short one with the pump fake, and you ran on the sideline and scored from about 7 or 8 yards out. That was a thing of beauty. You love to pump fake and get those defenders in the air.
I like the pump fake. It's just funny. It's just seeing him fly in the air. I already knew I had the touchdown. I was gonna juke him, run him over something, but the pump fake is just something. I don't know. They just all fall for it, jump. I guess they think they're gonna bat the ball down. I don't know.
Kayvon, the fact is you're only 15 years old. You're like a man-child, 6'4", 230. You have 17 sacks. You're probably the #1 prospect for the class of 2019. How did you get so good so quickly?
I've always been big, and that was my thing, being bigger than everybody. But at a certain point, it catches up with you, where I'm not just the biggest guy, where I worked a lot with my hands, a lot of footwork, a lot of technique, and I was able to, and my speed helped me a lot.
Right, you're a 3-sport athlete here, also started for the basketball team, also a 100-meter guy who's playing defensive end. Why do you keep playing 3 sports?
To show my versatility, and a guy that's 6'5", 230 that can run is, that's gold. So I try to stay humbled and just do everything.
Right, and German, you're happy he's on your team, correct? How would you handle if he was chasing you?
That'll be a hard one. I'll pump fake. A
Pump fake.
Will get him there. Yeah, a pump fake.
German plays a lot of sports too. You're going to play tennis, a doubles player, and I know you're on the basketball team as well. But I want to talk to you about some other things. In particular, following in the footsteps, not of your dad, but of your mom. She was a linebacker here, Lorraine, for Coach Paul Knox. Yeah. What does your mom say about being the first girl football player at Dorsey?
She talks about football all the time. If I even tell her I'm going to stop playing football, she's going to have something to say about that one. Well, that's one of the reasons I actually came to Dorsey, to follow the tradition and how she played for Coach Paul Knox. And I played for Coach Paul Knox too, 9th, 10th grade, so I liked it too. It was nice.
And Kayvon, for you, the tradition of Dorsey, can you just talk about it? Because you guys are probably going to be the #2 seed in the city section. Division I, obviously Narbonne is very good, but you guys have a lot of hope with the Dorsey tradition.
Well, one thing I can say about Dorsey is they put a lot of guys in the NFL. And one thing that they didn't do was win a lot of championships. So hopefully by the end I'll at least have 2 or 3, maybe hopefully 3. So we just want to bring it back and we want to keep the city kids in the city. The other teams are good, but we keep it in the city.
Well, German, we want to wish you the best of luck. So are you excited to play basketball, tennis, or football? Which is your preference? Which is your love?
It's football. Football is my love, but I want to win a city championship in all 3. That's what I'm looking for.
Well, we have a couple confident guys, but more importantly, from Dorsey's perspective, a couple very talented players. German Gatoy, quarterback, and of course, on the other side there, Kayvon Thibodeau. We're going to step out now. When we come back, Rich Estrella will be back with our Southern Section Report. That's next on SoCal Prep Report.
What's happening in LA? I'm Arian Alexander. It's a Halloween and horses kind of week here in LA. What do I mean? Check out these events. Spend a night in the Mountain View Mausoleum and Cemetery as you're led across the grounds for 3 spooky theatrical productions by Wicked Lit. Move among the headstones in the cemetery and through the hallways of the mausoleum as a cast of 20 actors brings haunting tales to life. This year's show includes a dark adventure inspired by West African folklore, an unsettling turn-of-the-century melodrama, and a Lovecraftian tale of terror. Go to unboundproductions.org for tickets. This week, make a stop at Grand Park to see the downtown Dia de los Muertos altars and art. Spanning 4 city blocks, the exhibition connects, tells, and reshapes the stories and traditions of Angelino life. Altars created by local artists take both traditional and contemporary approaches in remembering the past. Floral and color-themed sculptures will immerse you in folklore. Daily tours led by artists will provide insights into their work and process. Go to grandparkla.org for details. And they're off. On Friday and Saturday, the grand finale of the thoroughbred horse racing season makes its way to Santa Anita Park. Cheer on your favorite horses during the 2-day celeb-studded championship races. Make sure to dress to impress for the fashion contest. Ladies, put on your best fascinator. That's a fancy phrase for a headpiece. And men, your fanciest fedora. Go to breederscup.com for the schedule of races. At What's Happening in LA, we are keeping the Halloween spirit alive. Have a frightful and delightful week. I'm Arian Alexander for What's Happening in LA.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Southern Section edition of the SoCal Prep Report. I'm Rich Estrella, and this is week number 10, man. It went so fast, but after this weekend, half of the football teams in the CIF Southern section will be out of the playoffs. The other half will be in, vying for a CIF championship. We have a lot of ground to cover. There's some 500 CIF Southern section schools. Let's start with the top 10 and see how the cream of the crop did this past week. Let's start with Corona Centennial. They remain number 1 after a 47-17 over Norco. They are the Big 8 league champions. They will play King of Riverside this weekend in a league game. Mater Dei is the Trinity League champions. They defeated Servite 58-16 last week. They play J. Sarah, who has little chance of making the playoffs this year. Mater Dei should finish their season undefeated. St. John Bosco defeated J. Sarah 47-19. They are number 3. They play Orange Lutheran this week, and this is the second place game. The winner of this Bosco Orange Lutheran game will finish number 2 in the Trinity League, which says a lot. Finishing number 2 in the Trinity League is like finishing in first place in everybody else's league. All right, it's that simple. Rancho Cucamonga retains the 4th spot. They had a 44-24 win over Damien. They'll be at Chino Hills this week. That game is for the league title. Rancho Cucamonga, as you can see, is undefeated. Chino Hills 6-3 on the season, 3-1 in league. All right, Calabasas 47-14 over Thousand Oaks last week. They will play for the league championship this week against Moore Park. We'll talk a little bit more about that just a little bit later on in the show. But can you imagine Calabasas going into the final week? And they got a win to win league. Amazing. Number 6 is Mission Viejo. They had a bye last week. They're going to play San Clemente. This game is for all the marbles in the South Coast. Both teams undefeated, 3-0 in league. All right, going into the city section now. This is our 7th-ranked team. This is already league champion Hawkins. Hawkins won league by virtue of a 60-44 win over Crenshaw last week. They will play Manual Arts this week in a game getting ready for the playoffs. And number 8 is Narbonne, a 41-3 winner over San Pedro. Narbonne is going to play for the league title too. Imagine Narbonne going into the final week having to win league. They are 9-0. They are the prohibitive favorite over Banning. Although Banning has had a good year, but last couple of weeks, man, they've been very suspect. Looking at Long Beach Poly in the 9th spot, Poly lost 34-0. How can they lose 34-0 so late in the season and still be in the top 10? Because they played the IMG Academy in Florida. They are ranked number 2 in everybody's poll in the country, just behind Mater Dei and just ahead of Bishop Gorman. Remember, we've seen IMG before. Corona Centennial lost to them in the last minute of the game in like a 50-49 shootout. What a game that was. That's why Corona Centennial is number 1 in our top 10. And finally at number 10, Edison, cracking the top 10 for the first time all season. A 56-12 win over Fountain Valley. They have Huntington Beach this week. Edison is the Sunset League champions. All right, now we talked about some of the teams that are still have to vie for titles, and we saw how the top 10 meted out. Let's take a look at the current league champions. These are teams that have already won their league. All they have to do is kind of work out this weekend, try to get your starters not hurt, and get ready for those playoffs. First of all, let's start in the Almont League. We have Montebello, who finished in the Almont League number 1. They finished have an 8-1 league mark. They're coached by Pete Gonzalez. In the Angeles League, the champions are Cathedral. Cathedral's very good, 9-0. Watch out for them. That's Kevin Pearson's group. In the Citrus Belt, the champs are Redlands East Valley. They are 7-2, followed by Crestview, who has Villa Park. Deucen Ansich, 8-1. He's got a program over there. In the Inland Valley, the champions are Rancho Verde. They finished 8-1. In the Miramonte League, Pomona gets the league championship. They have a 4-6 record, man. They got healthy once they got into league, but they had a very good preseason schedule that probably prepared them for league and the league title. In the Mission League, Sarah, after a slow start, finishes 6-3. They are the Mission League champions. In the Mission Valley, it's Arroyo, 8-1. That's in El Monte. They did a fine job this year. In the Moore League, the champions, Long Beach Poly, they finished with a 6-3 record. In the Olympic League, it's the champions are Valley Christian. They finished 7-2, followed by Catella at 9-0. Orange Coast, Godinez is league champions at 5-4. In the Pac-5, Arroyo Grande, 8-1, had a very good season. And the Pacific Coast, the traditional champions, Corona Del Mar, well, they've won the league again with an 8-1 league mark. They're followed in the Pioneer League. The league champions is Lusinger. In the River Valley League, Norte Vista finishing with a 7-2 record and a league championship. In the Santa Fe League, it was St. Anthony of Long Beach finishing with a 7-2 mark. CB League champions are Capital Valley. They are 8-1. The Southwestern League, Murrieta Valley finished 7-2. Sunset Edison winning the league championship. Edison's only loss was to the number 1 team in the country, Mater Dei. And Valley Vista League, Northview finished as league champions. They finished with 8-1. Now let's take a look at the races where the winners will take all. In the Del Rio League, Santa Fe 4-0 will be at La Serna, also 4-0. That'll be a very good game. That game will be played at the new stadium at California High School. In the Golden League, Antelope Valley and Palmdale, up there in the Palmdale-Lancaster area, both these teams 6-0. Both these teams have tradition. That is going to be a very good game. They play wide open offenses out there. In the Marmoni League, it's Westlake at 2-0 against Oaks Christian, that is, are 2-0. Whoever wins this game, 2 traditional powers will take that league. In the North Hills area, it's El Medina will be taking on Brea. Both are 2-0 marks. That'll also be a good game. In the San Gabriel Valley League, Downey and Paramount. Downey's won, 2 of the last 4 CIF championships in that division. Paramount at one time was a very strong powerhouse, going to 3 straight CIF finals. That will also be a good game. Those games usually draw 5,000 people to see those. In the South Coast League, Mission Viejo, who would have thought it? They're ranked in the top 20 in the nation, but they still have to beat San Clemente just to win their league. That is going to be a good game as well. Taking a look at the Suburban League, La Mirada, last year's state champion, got to take on Mayfair, one of their traditional rivals. Both teams are 5-0. That game's going to be good. My money's on the Matadors. That Meyer kid, man, he's just thrown for a ton of touchdowns, a couple interceptions. How can you not like those guys? In the Sun Belt League, it's Paloma Valley 4-0 against Heritage. Heritage is one of the top teams in the southern section. They're undefeated, but again, they're like Calabasas. They have to play all the way through a full 10-week schedule just to win league. And if they lighten up, Paloma Valley will get them. We'll see how that all nets out. Congratulations to all those teams that have won league titles. They can rest this week and get ready for the playoffs. Most of these coaches are just getting film and looking at other schools to see who they might meet in the first or second round of the playoffs and just prepare for them. That's what you do when you get an early league championship. Now we're going to take a look at 5 leagues that are undecided, and there's a lot of scenarios. We call this Chaos Reigns Supreme. Let's start in the Bay League. The Bay League is a mess. Here's how the final week breaks down. If Redondo beats Miracosta and Palos Verdes beats Peninsula, the Bay League will end up in a 3-way tie for first, with Miracosta, Redondo, and Palos Verdes all sporting 4-1 records. Head-to-head, here's how it went. Miracosta beat Palos Verdes. Palos Verdes beat Redondo, and Redondo beat Miracosta. Now the coin flip will come into play. And just so you know, the coaches and athletic directors after these Fridays games will be, matter of fact, they do it before the games. They coin flip, and before the weekend's up, we'll already know at the end of all these games who the league champion will be, just based on a coin flip with the athletic directors and the head coaches in the league. Now let's go to the Camino League. No one saw this coming. One of the top 5 teams in the CIF Southern Section must win Friday to win league. They face league rival Moore Park, and of course we're talking about Calabasas. Now, Moore Park could turn the playoffs upside down with a win over Calabasas, and here's how it could play out. If Moore Park upsets Calabasas and Newberry Park beats Thousand Oaks, the league will end up in a 3-way tie between Calabasas, Moore Park, and Newberry Park. In this scenario, you will have Moore Park who beat Calabasas, Calabasas beat Newberry Park, and Newberry Park beat Moore Park. Clear? All right. So now, a coin flip determines the league champ, which means that top-rated Calabasas could end up a 3rd-place team. Imagine that. One of the state's best teams finishing up as an also-ran in its own league. Stranger things have happened. Don't bet your lunch money on it. Calabasas should win easily, right? Gotta stay tuned. The Honda League has 3 teams still alive for a league title. Monrovia sits atop the heap. However, they have a big game versus South Pasadena. If South Pasadena wins and San Marino beats La Cañada, there will be a 3-way tie for the top spot. Since South Pasadena beat Monrovia, Monrovia beats San Marino, and San Marino beats South Pasadena. Who gets in? The coin toss will decide. However, Monrovia could make it very easy on themselves by just winning. Monrovia relies on a stingy defense that is allowing only a touchdown in Rio Hondo League play. The Ocean League has a pretty crazy scenario, but let's take a look at this last one. We have saved the best for last, and that would be the Empire League. This year's Empire League has the potential of having one of the wildest finishes in CIF history. That's right, now concentrate, because this is JPL stuff. There are 3 teams still in the hunt for a title and 4 teams chasing a playoff spot, and 5 teams could all end up with the same 3-2 league mark. Here's one of the 200,000 scenarios for this league. If Cypress beats Valencia, and there's a better than good chance that they will, then Cypress can lay claim to the title, the league title that is, if and only if Tustin loses to Western. If Tustin wins, combined with the Valencia loss, then Tustin wins the title outright. If Tustin and Valencia both lose, then there will be a 3-way tie for first with no clear-cut champion, since Tustin beat Cypress, Cypress beat Valencia, and Valencia beat Tustin. So now the dreaded coin flip comes into play to decide the champion. To make matters worse for the league, if things play out as mentioned, then 4 teams will have 3-2 league records, and we don't have time to get into that. It's going to take JPL to figure that one out. Now, all of this is moot if Tustin beats Western, which they should, and or Valencia loses or wins. If Valencia loses combined with a Tustin win, then Tustin wins the Empire. If Valencia wins, then they win the title outright. My guess is Myron Miller is up to his old tricks, and Tustin is the beneficiary of his treats. Tustin should win the Empire League, but who knows? That is the state of the CIF Union. Thank you for joining us. This is the Southern Section Report. I'm Rich Estrella.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Exciting football games this week. Let's start in the Northern League, where Lincoln's going to try to wrap up the championship. Not an easy game. They have to play at Torres.
Torres has one of the best running backs in the city in Gilmore. And you know how to pronounce his first name?
Yeah, it's Taquan Gilmore. He's got over 2,000 yards.
Yes. So it'll be a tough game. I give a little bit of an edge to Lincoln, but I would not be surprised if Torres pulled it off.
In this same Coliseum League that houses our friends here at Dorsey, interesting game. Crenshaw, which is struggling, giving up a lot of points against L.A.
I just don't see that Dayon Henry can be a one-man game team again. I mean, he's the quarterback for Crenshaw, but LA's got the big defensive line. It's going to be a very tough game, and Eric Scott's an ex-Crenshaw coach and player, so I think LA will be ready to win that game.
I agree with you. I think LA will win it, although I got to tell you that Henley run against Dorsey of 73 yards in the Coliseum was still one of the great runs of the year. Narbonne at Banning. Narbonne's number 1. Banning is a decided underdog. The last obstacle for another regular season undefeated season for Narbonne.
Yeah, Banning will use this game to get prepared for the playoffs and to learn for the future. Narbonne, I don't think is going to lose this game. They're just too good on defense.
Here's an interesting one in the Valley. Of course, we were at San Fernando High School last week, talked to the people of the Tigers. They're won again this week over Reseda 14-7, and they're a perfect 9-0 at this stage. San Fernando has to play Sylmar. Interesting game.
Yeah, well, it's at San Fernando, so that will be helpful for them, but this is a rivalry game. Anything can happen. I still like San Fernando. They're a little more solid on defense, but Sylmar has been playing very well of late.
Palisades at Venice. Venice is trying to wrap up the Western League. We've talked so much about the fine quarterback there, the freshman Luca Diamant of the Gondoliers. But Palisades had won 7 in a row until they stumbled last week.
Only thing I know is this game will go down to the end.
Yes.
Venice always seems to be playing these late games, these games that are decided in the final seconds. I think they will win this, but it could go either way. I think Palisades is good enough to win.
I'll give you an easy one. Garfield trying for its 7th straight against Roosevelt.
Yes,
at
I'm
East
definitely
LA.
taking Garfield. Roosevelt has been struggling. They're 1-8. They do want to win over one team, Randy. Who would that team be?
Yeah, they beat North Hollywood by a touchdown. I think it was 28-21 earlier in the year. I have to agree. I agree with you on all the games.
And
this
you're
week.
covering that game for Spectrum.
Yeah,
it's
well,
going to
we're
be
doing that
delayed,
game. Yeah.
11 p.m.
Thanks for the promo.
I'm giving you
Eric.
a
I appreciate
promo.
that.
You've been nice to me today.
Well, I have to be nice to you.
But I also want to mention
you're
Gabe
my
Mark.
guy.
Gabe Marks, the former Venice receiver, just became the all-time leading receiver for touchdowns at Washington State. Had a great career. I think one day we'll be seeing him in the NFL.
Yeah, he has 33 now career touchdown receptions. He's going to break almost every record.
Yeah,
there
let's
for
mention
yardage and all
girls
that
volleyball. The city playoffs have begun. I like Granada Hills, led by Sarah Haggie.
I don't disagree. Chatsworth is very good in that division and owns a victory over them and has the great Mahalia White on the outside. And there's some other good teams, too. Palisades is very good out of the Western League. That's no surprise. And the other team that's outstanding is Carson. They dominated the Marine
And the
League.
city playoffs football are coming out on Saturday, so be on the look for that.
We'll talk about the playoffs next week when we return to SoCal Prep Report. For Eric, I'm Randy. We'll see you then, right here. Take care, everybody.